There's a strange phenomenon that occurs in shear thinning liquids known as Kay's effect. When you pour a thin column of soap, for example, you would expect it to pile up, like how it does here. Shear thinning just means that as the liquid flows, the viscosity decreases and so it gets thinner. Occasionally, however, a jet of the liquid will rise up and shoot out. So what we attempted to do was shine a laser down the column of soap and see if it travels along the outgoing jet. And indeed, it does. The laser travels down the stream of soap and along the jet. Kay's effect itself starts as the ejection of a loop of liquid on top of the pile that's already formed. Half of the loop sinks down into the puddle of soap, while the other half rises up, forming a jet. Our laser followed along this jet and gave the effect of darting across the puddle. The laser clearly highlights where the end of the jet is. What we saw occur frequently was that the jet would change direction, and so the laser would change direction along with it. Here's a slow motion clip of the jet changing direction and sinking into the puddle. Kay's effect terminates when the jet piles up back onto itself, and so it collapses. Here's a clip of that occurring multiple times within a few seconds. Tilting the landing surface occasionally caused the jet to slide. This clip was shot with the lights on because the laser did not travel through the sliding, and so it was harder to see in the dark. However, you can still see the red dot from the laser at the top of the mound from where the jet is coming out. Note how the jet from Kay's effect changes direction frequently. This footage was captured on a Nikon D5000. Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. Here, note how far the jet initially shoots. Slowly, we turned off the lights to get some more footage of the laser, too. Now, how is it possible that this jet of liquid slides across the puddle without automatically merging with it? The sliding may be seen as multiple small bounces or multiple Kay's effects. Here is a clip of the sliding actually being amplified and then turning into multiple bounces. These multiple bounces, or the multiple Kay's effects, is actually a stable Kay's effect that could sometimes last for a few seconds. It is truly amazing to watch, with the laser shining down the column of soap and traveling through every single bounce. Each time it lands, some of the laser scatters, and thus we can see it. Now for the next minute and a half, I will be playing clips that we captured of the stable Kay's effect. I would like to spend this time talking about the setup in general. The surface we used was a regular whiteboard slanted at around 30 to 40 degrees using several physics textbooks. What is important is that you need a thin layer of soap on the surface already in order to achieve a stable Kay's effect. The shear thinning liquid we used was a soap made by Dial called spring water. We chose it because it had the right viscosity so that it could be poured as a thin column. The viscosity also helped when I poured it into the funnel to prevent bubbles from forming. Bubbles would block and scatter the laser's light. Also, the soap's light color allowed for the laser to pass through more easily. We had the funnel 3D printed to have a volume of about 150 to 200 milliliters. The opening was around 4 millimeters thick, so that when the stream of soap hit the surface, it had thinned to about 1 millimeter. This funnel was clamped to a ring stand and elevated about 15 centimeters above the whiteboard's surface. The red laser was also clamped to the ring stand above the funnel and positioned so that it was parallel and aligned with the stream of soap. The result are these beautiful stable Kay's effects with a laser traveling along the multiple jets. You might be wondering what the pattern is where the stream lands on the surface. What seems to be happening is that the laser is being refracted. With the soap we used, the pattern we usually saw was this 5-armed spiral. Here's an actual clip. of that spiral. Other times the pattern seemed to be a strange random scattering. Changes in the pattern were usually caused by bubbles in the column of liquid. Sometimes the laser would disappear and reappear, change direction, and then disappear again. Here's another clip where there are 5 clear arms to the spiral. As you can see clearly in these clips, the pattern seems to be emanating outward, not only when it's a spiral. Finally, here I divert the stream of liquid with my finger to show that this pattern is not coming from a scattering of light from where the jet lands. Instead, the light is being scattered from the tip of the funnel itself. I would like to thank Dr. Dogru and Mr. Guthrie for their great help in this project. Dr. Dogru for providing most of the materials and offering guidance, and Mr. Guthrie for lending me the camera. You can see the rest of the clips from this project at my website at this link right here.